Okay, let's try that again. Here we go. We're going to try that again. Sorry about that, you guys. I have absolutely no idea what's causing it to be a little bit of a slow internet today, but hopefully that will have fixed it. I don't know. I'm still getting some red signals from it, so I don't think it's going to be like just the best quality internet. So that means I'm going to have to like not be looking at your comments and stuff because I can't have multiple streams available then if I'm having a hard time. I wish I could show you guys. It's so cute. There's this teeny tiny little square at the bottom of my OBS, and it shows a red, yellow, or green square, depending on how good your internet is. And so obviously we want it to be green. So it's probably giving me problems because Cindy is over here having pineapple ham. Ugh. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's a shame, Cindy. It really is. But this is our second go around here. I'm just going to, try to push through. Maybe our internet will stabilize here. It just keeps going back and forth from red to yellow to green and then back down to red. It's really, really weird. So we're just going to try this. I've never seen the internet do that before. I'm not really exactly sure what the issue is. So hopefully it balances itself out eventually. But I cannot see you guys in the comments or respond to your comments because I've got everything else shut down. We're staying in the green now. I really wish I could show you guys how cute this little square is that tells me that the internet's not working, right? Oh no, Kristen, you're fine. It's not Facebook. It's me. It's just hashtag not professional still. But welcome to the Tulips and Honey Mega List, the second round, because the first round didn't work, and so now we're trying again. So there's gonna be two little videos. I'll have to delete the other one, but anyways, we're here now. I don't have just a whole ton of stuff for you guys today. I do have a few things that I'm really excited to get to chat with you guys about. I'm always excited to get to chat with you guys. Hello, Shanto. Oh, over in Twitter. Ha! See, that's what that little weird blue. Oh, you can't because my hand just went behind the thing. Can I make it look like I'm grabbing it? No, I can't. Okay, sorry about those squirrels already. But we've already had lots of mishaps with the internet, so we might as well have lots of, just squirrels in general. But let's go ahead and get through this because I don't have very much. This is the very last time that I'll be going live in 2020, which is just such a wonderful thing to say. It will not be 2020 anymore the next time you guys see me live because next Friday is Christmas. Literally Christmas Day. And I was like, should I go live on Christmas Day? Will my family probably be upset about that? Probably, yeah, I better not. So, am I the only one buffering? Probably not, Cindy. It's probably actually just me. I'm pretty sure it's me. Yep, actually, I'm looking down at the little square, and the little square is back in red. So, if you guys are buffering, I promise it's me. I have no idea what's going on with the internet. I've never seen internet like Spokane's here in Washington. Their internet is just terrible, and we have paid for like the most expensive kind. So that I can live stream, which my sweet husband, he's amazing, but it still is pretty bad. But still, it should at least allow me to go live, and having this much issue is ridiculous. Hi, Tammy, driving home from getting dinner, listening to you on my car radio. Oh, that's so cool. I'm on a radio. That's kind of neat. Hi, Chris. Hi, Cindy T as well. I forgot to say hi to all of my wonderful listeners over in the comment section. So we do have a few things. There are some cute stuff that I want to show you guys. First thing that I want to do before we get into like the recommendations and the suggestions and the prayer requests is I wanted you guys to see how well I multitask this morning. So every now and then I multitask by mopping and doing dishes at the same time. And so since Tammy is in the car and she can't see this, I'm just going to let you know, Tammy, that what it is that I put way too much dishwashing fluid stuff in my dishwasher and it overflowed into the whole kitchen and dining room. But you know what? It needed to be mopped. So I made it work. I needed you guys to see that because that's how I started my day this morning at about 4:35. with, there was not that much left in our Dawn container. We got like the Dawn Platinum, and there was just, like this much, which looks less than it is. And so I was like, well, I want to get rid of this bottle. I've got another bottle. I'm just gonna squeeze all of this in there, and that way I can throw away this bottle. It wasn't a good idea. It was not a good idea. Nope. But my floors got mopped, and that's all. And I just wanted you guys to enjoy that. There's another fun thing that happened today. I don't have a picture of it. I wish I did. But so our sweet producer and her lovely husband, Mr. Forkel, they have taken to digging in the backyard. They don't actually have we usually don't have a backyard that's fenced, right? So usually we're in an apartment. Wherever we travel, the housing can be different whichever way. The last house we were in had no fenced-in backyard, so they had to actually be on a cord. But this is the first time they have a fenced-in backyard that they can just run around and have fun. And I was so excited about that until I realized that they were digging, and so I had to actually put a leash out there until we can get them to stop digging, and so that they can be brought back in and all that stuff. So, long story short, I went out to get the little leash that had gotten stuck on the stairs, and while I was outside, somehow the dogs managed to shut the door and lock it, and they locked me outside on my patio. And so I had to bang on the door because Kaylee was in her room and she couldn't hear me, and so I was banging on the patio door with my fuzzy socks on and no shoes. And while I was out there, I realized something very important. I don't know where the fence is, like the gate is to the fence for the backyard. I don't know how to get out of the backyard if I'm stuck in the backyard, because I never thought I would be stuck in the backyard, but today I was stuck in the backyard, and I couldn't get out, and my poor sweet husband who works nights, who was definitely asleep, woke up and was like, what in tarnation is going on out here? And he was all like, no glasses on, so he can't see very well. And I'm like on the patio banging, help me, please let me in. So that was really fun. And I just wanted you guys to know how much fun that was. That's why we give the producer Clementine all of the mean negative emails, because she's somehow figured out how to, it's one of those locks where it switches, it's a switch lock, like a flip. So to lock it, you just flip it down. So all they had to really do was jump on that door. It would have pushed a little bit because I had it, almost completely shut, but not quite. And they must have just pushed it just a little bit, switched that bad boy down, boom, stuck outside. And I had my headphones in, but not my cell phone wasn't with me. So I'm like trying to talk to Siri while I'm out there and trying to tell her to FaceTime my daughter, but she's not recognizing my commands. So it was really, really fun. I just wish sometimes whenever ridiculous stuff like that happens that there was like some way of recording. I'm never lucky enough to have a camera whenever nonsense happens. So those were the two cute things that I want to tell you guys about before we got started with all the other stuff, all the other fun, super cool stuff. The picture that I wanted to show you guys today, I don't have a whole lot of like squirrels or anything for you, but I do have this, which I thought was really, really cool. So shout out to David from Exposit the Word. Hopefully you guys are following him. And this past week, I believe it was, he had posted this picture saying that his tea tasted better than usual. And that's obviously because his tea is graciously reformed tea. And so yeah, he's wearing my cool stuff, my stuff from my shop. It was so neat to see stuff from my shop on somebody over in a completely different country. There he is, way across the pond. As you can tell, he's from across the pond because he's drinking tea instead of, coffee from a coffee mug. So I was wondering about this, and I was thinking, like, is it just that we grew up drinking one or the other? Because I drank coffee from like the age of 5, 6, 7. I say coffee. I drink a little bit of coffee with my cream and sugar, but I don't now, and I haven't for over a year. I haven't had any coffee because it some of the medicine that they put me on just kind of makes it taste weird to me now, so I can't drink it. It's sort of this weird like almost like I want to puke because of like the heat from it. I have no idea. It's really, really weird. I can't even describe it because coffee was the first thing that I had to do every single day. You just weren't going to get me to do anything until I'd had coffee. And now I can't stand the thought of drinking it. It's really weird. I can take a couple of sips of like the frozen stuff, like the Frappuccinos, but just a couple of sips and I'm still like, well, I can't do it. So I was thinking like, is this, I'll probably be able, I'll probably drink coffee if I get a girlfriend that begs me to. There you go, Mark. That never worked on my husband. I used to tell him all the time, like, it's good if you just get used to it. But my husband is not a coffee drinker, and he never has been. But when I was a kid, that was what my mom did first off in the morning. And so the first thing that I recognized was important about like your day was coffee. And so I just think I picked it up from there. But it's a weird thing that I would never ever think to make hot tea. I know there are people that do drink hot tea, like fancy teas and stuff here in America too. But it's just it's not something that's sort of institutionalized. Well, I'm good then, not pregnant. That's funny. There is no getting used to coffee. Y'all just pretend. Oh, okay. Michael says, I drink Earl Grey tea all the time. Sometimes I drink coffee, but I definitely drink hot tea more. That's really interesting, Michael. And do you add like cream and sugar just like people who are doing, who are drinking coffee would? Like, I know this is such a dumb question, but it's just these weird things that I wish I knew about our brothers and sisters in Christ that are like across the pond, that there's like this little bit of a difference, and I want to know and I want to understand, and so that I can relate a little bit differently, like a little bit better. But anyways, did my twang come out? I'm sorry. Thank you, Kristen, for letting me know. What did I say? I've practiced so hard not having twang. I'm live. I can't edit out the twang. That's the worst part about it, is I can't edit it out. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the only fun picture. There were supposed to be other fun pictures, but I didn't get them because of whatever reason. They're not here on my list. So I'll have to find them and hopefully maybe show them to you on the 1st of July of 2021, because that's the next time I'm going to be going live. Oh, that's so cool to say. I'm super excited about that. But I do have some other important sort of serious stuff to show you guys. So let's look over here at the first thing. Let the twang be free. I'm sorry that I'm not seeing very many of your comments, but I'm trying to stay out of all of my programs in case it's causing issues with the internet. I don't know if that's what it is. I'm assuming that I was using too much. Wait, July? No, sorry. No, Chris. No. Wow. July 2021? Are you kidding me? I'm sorry. What I had meant to say was January. January 1st, 2021. I promise not to take a 6-month break from going live, because this is like, although it is weird not weird, but I guess it can be more nerve-wracking to go live. It's my favorite thing to do. I love recording videos and doing interviews. Idios and Vinterviews is what I was going to say. I love doing interviews, and it's super fun, but I really have the most fun getting to chat back and forth with you guys here on this list. So a few serious things, but I did want to mention this first before I forget, that if you guys have questions for Kristen and I regarding the episodes that we've been doing, just released on Monday, the second part of the 3-part series on how she broke away from the ark. If you want to drop those in the comments, there's still a little bit of time because she's going to be coming over in about a little bit less than an hour and a half. No, 2 hours and a half. She'll be here soon. So we'll be doing some interviews. Don't try this at home. Thank you, Chris. I need that on a shirt. Oreos and tulips every Friday live. Yes, thank you, Josh. That's accurate. Okay, I almost started to say that this was the show about Oreos and squirrels, and then I forgot because that's what I do. But so Kristen's gonna be here. Yes, that's right, 6:30. So we have a little bit of time before she's gonna get here. But you have a little bit of time left to send in your questions, whatever you might want to ask about ARC and about the experience. We're going to be recording that tonight, so I don't have a sneak peek for you for Monday. But Monday will be our last episode on the series, where we're going to wrap everything up, discuss the things that we maybe didn't get to before, and answer all the questions that we've gotten sent in, because there's just been a majority, or not a majority, but a mass amount of like responses and questions, and I can't think words today, so it's going to be a really fun interview. But yes, Mark, that's right. Pacific Standard Time. That's right. Yep. So we're going to be recording Oreos and tulips. That's the way to do it, right? I actually found tulips. I have them. I'm looking over here, and that apparently, and I don't know, are they supposed to do this? But they're drooping a lot. Is that normal? Is that how tulips look? Because when I say drooping a lot, I mean they're like, they're not just like, but they're all the way, they're like my microphone. That's what they're doing. I don't know if that's normal, but they're pretty, and I found them, and I was excited. They were on clearance. Maybe that's why they're drooping. You guys know I'm not going to buy anything that's not on clearance because I'm the frugal comedian, so I have to have my convenience? No, clearance. Wow, it's bad today. This is going to be a really fun one. Also super disappointing to find out that the Yum Box, which is going to be full of Christmas goodies from all over the world, did not make it here in time for this live event. It's going to be here tomorrow. What? Why? Why would it need to be here tomorrow? Of all of the things for it to be here tomorrow, I saw it in the FedEx history going back and forth to one town, back to the other town, back to this town, back to this town. I don't know what they were doing, but that took up 2 extra days, and now it's not going to get here on time. So I'm super disappointed about that. If you guys want me to, like if you really, really want me to, I can record our responses to trying it all, but that's only if there's like a major outpouring of the desire to hear me eat weird random foods from other countries. Otherwise, I'll just leave it to your imagination that we got to try cool Christmas treats from all over the world, because we're definitely not going to have patience to wait, and I'm not going live on Friday, so I'm just going to have to eat them all as soon as they get here because I'm really excited. This is going to be the best one yet. Anyways, so yes, if you have questions for Kristen about her encounter at ARC and leaving, please do send them in. Let me know. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about, you guys. Oh, good evening, Miss Mary. How are you? I'm so glad to see you in the comments. We are going to talk about something that might get you guys a little bit frustrated, but are you ready? There we go. Okay, so you guys probably saw this. A friend of mine sent this over to me vis-a-vis text messages. Federal loans were given to help employers pay workers and cover daily operations as the COVID-19 pandemic continues impacting businesses. But Joel Osteen's church, his mega church in Houston, received $4.4 million in loans. You guys, when the hurricane happened in Houston and there were needs for churches to open that were up on high ground, Osteen refused to open his church, his mega church that is literally inside what was once where you went to play like basketball and stuff. This guy, just, I don't know how many times he needs to be exposed before he stops being so incredibly popular. But he's very, very popular. We went, so we were in Houston. We took this assignment in Houston. We'll never take another assignment in Houston. I'm so sorry, Houstonites. I love you all in Christ, but your city is sort of like living inside an armpit. And so we'll never be back to your city because it was hard to breathe the entire time we were there. But we were there for a 13-week assignment. And in the 13-week assignment, this was before we got saved, we went to Joel Osteen's church, his church. And it is every bit what you would think it is. It's a concert followed by inspirational speaking. That's pretty much it. And then you have to wait for like an hour to get out of the parking lot. But somebody went down there to his church during we were in Houston, we left Houston, and then that next weekend the hurricane hit and everything flooded. And somebody went down there because he had said on social media that his church was underwater, so he couldn't allow anybody in there, and they went and it was not underwater. So this just is once again another sign that Chris says that the Houstonians need to mob outside my house with torches and pitchforks, and I'll hand them all mega stuffed Oreos and we'll all be at peace, because mega stuffed Oreos make everything better. I may or may not have 2 entire packages of mega stuffed Oreos in my cabinet right now. One of them may or may not already be halfway empty, even though I bought them yesterday. You guys, I'm going to roll into 2021. Literally, like, you're going to have to roll me over to this computer so that I can actually, do my show like this. This is what it's going to be like, because this is how many Oreos I'm going to eat because they're delicious. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. Can I just have no, Chris, listen, we've been through this. We have been through this, Chris. Okay. Here's the compromise. Ready for a compromise? I've got a compromise. Chris, you can actually, you can have your regular Oreos if you sit and watch Elf from the beginning to the end without commenting at all. How's that compromise? You see what I did there? That was fun, wasn't it? Okay, let's keep going. This is so much fun. If you guys aren't following Chris on Twitter, you need to be following him on Twitter because his stuff is hilarious. Put pepper in the holes. They dig it. Stops them. Oh, I didn't get to see the rest of that one. Nope, not gonna happen. That's right. So in other words, you have to eat mega stuffed. You can make wheels out of giant Oreos and roll you around. Mary, I love that idea. Yes. This is the thing that needs to happen. This is what my life is going to come down to. Squirrels and Oreos. And at some point somebody's going to be like, why is your show called Tulips and Honey when all you talk about is squirrels and Oreos? And I'm not going to have an answer for them because my mouth will be too full of mega stuffed Oreos to answer them. Okay, but we do have a couple of even more serious things that I did want to talk about. So I've linked to some stuff below in the comment section, or not the comment section, in the descriptions. If you guys want to check out anything that I mentioned in today's live event, you can check out the links down there. One of the things that I saw that I thought was particularly fascinating is Chris just sent me a photo, so now I have to check because I don't usually have my phone in front of me to see these things. Oh, 18,000 notifications pulled up right whenever I went to click on whatever picture he just sent me. Oh no, Chris. Why? Wow. At least it's a family size. I give you props for it being a family size. Is it really for the family though? Because mine's not. I also have the family size. I have 2 of them. You guys, this is really, really bad, but for Christmas, one of the reasons why we bought 2 of them is because we're going to cover some of them in chocolate. And then we're going to eat them. Okay, but anyways, we do some really important stuff. But this is good because you guys are going to need that before we talk about the other stuff. I was fascinated, and maybe I'm the only one that missed out on the whole Good Mythical Morning fandom, right? There was this huge fandom for Good Mythical Morning. And they had a lot of reformed people that were recommending them. But I had never heard of them until a few months before they actually apostatized. And so by the time I realized what they were doing, there was already a lot of problems with a lot of their content. And then, of course, they come out and they're like, well, we're really actually not, we're not believing the things that we had said that we believed, and really suggested that they're not really sure if there is a God. I'm not sure why they would still be in church and stuff. It's kind of weird. I guess it's a universal thing. I'm not really sure. But Anchored North does this thing, and I don't know if you guys remember, but I did get the chance to interview Greg from Anchored North. One of the few times that I've actually cried in an interview, because I'm not a big crier. I'm not I'll cry if I'm angry, but I don't usually cry if I'm sad, and I don't usually cry about emotional things. So I was so moved by his testimony, and also he's hilarious. So not only does he run Anchored North, but he also has a guinea pig channel on. Even though he doesn't have guinea pigs because his wife won't let him have guinea pigs, but he has a whole channel over on Instagram devoted to guinea pigs, and so he did a guinea pig sound for us. It was really funny. But he runs Anchored North. He founded Anchored North, and they do this thing where they are talking about conversations. So you've got one person from one side of the aisle, the other person from the complete opposite side of the aisle, and so you would have somebody who was. I'm trying to think of all the different ones that they've done, but of course it all passed right out of my mind. I know they had someone who was for that was actually transgender, and then somebody who was maybe on the solid Christian side. And I know Greg personally leans Reformed. I think he would actually call himself Reformed if I remember correctly, but that doesn't come out in any of his stuff. So he had one of the dudes from Good Mythical Morning. I can't for the life of me remember the different names of the different guys, but the one with the taller hair, not the one with the glasses, but the one with the taller hair, that one. And next to him was somebody who I didn't get the chance to research the other guy he was talking to, so I don't know if he's solid biblically, but the stuff that he said was solid. He was a 6-day creationist. He talked about God's sovereignty, all that good stuff. So the discussion was over what the Bible says about LGBTQ issues, like what the Bible actually says about that. And just mentioning that means that now this video will actually be like buried and demonetized. But anyways, it's worth it to get to chat with you guys about this because I think this is really, really important. I was fascinated with the apostasy of these two gentlemen. In particular, the fact that they mentioned that it was evolution that caused the problems. Yeah, Rhett and Link, that's right. They linked, or they mentioned evolution in that original interview where they were talking about, well, the one guy was talking about how he just couldn't compute those two things, and then from there was other issues, and he kind of, like, at the time he made this passive statement saying, I know there's whole organizations and websites devoted to explaining it, but it just doesn't pan out to me, and I was fascinated because it's one of those things that you guys know. I love creation science. I love science in general. I love fossils. This is like my favorite thing. But it's fascinating to me to see how quickly somebody will move away from the faith whenever they are given the opportunity to do so if they're unsaved. And usually it's got something to do with, evolution. Well, in this interview at the very beginning, there's two parts, and I linked to it because I think this is really important. I think this is actually something that, for no other reason than to hear the average opinion of a professing believer in America, this is what they sound like. And I've seen enough interviews, and I have spoken to enough of these folks from all over the country, that what he's saying in this two-part series is actually indicative of what a lot of people will repeat almost verbatim, which is really fascinating to me. So it's a fascinating interview. It's a discussion. It's not an interview. They're discussing it back and forth. But it starts off with them both giving their, quote unquote testimonies. And so the guy that would be a believer and would hold to, like, the sufficiency of Scripture starts out with this gospel presentation, this testimony where he recognized his sin, and there, there was a change. Whereas the Good Mythical Morning dude starts off by saying basically when he was 5, without really understanding what he was doing, he went through the sinner's prayer. And so you can see from the outset the differences here between these two guys, and the discussion that goes through really whose authority you're going to base your opinions on. That's actually what it boils down to. Where's your authority? And it took him in the second part. You see, it took the Good Mythical Morning dude. I think it's Rhett. I don't think it's Link. I can't remember exactly. It took him over 15 minutes to denounce child marriages because he just kept on wiggling his way around answering the question. And it struck me as really, really informative to see somebody try to explain their worldview without an authority. So he's being basically asked if, same-sex marriage is okay. Where do you draw the line? What is your standard for what is not okay? And so the few points that were brought up would be like, if you have multiple, Red is the one with the hair. Okay, then that's who it was. Yeah, it wasn't the one that wears glasses. It was the other one. But he was being asked, like, is it if you are in a polygamous marriage, if you are polyamorous, doing a polyamorous marriage where there's, like, 2 women and, like, 3 men or whatever it is, or is it okay for a grown man to marry a child? And without being able to just have that standard, it was very difficult for him to actually get to the answer. It shouldn't take 15 minutes to say child marriages are incredibly wrong. So, it should just take a couple of seconds. But it didn't. It took him over 15 minutes because he really, really was struggling with the basics of this question. Like, what is a good marriage and who gets to define a good marriage? And so they go through, like, the grammar of all of this in the first one, but the second part was really, really fascinating to me to see. And so I just wanted to mention that and put that in there so that you guys could check this out, because if you're going to be meeting with family, you might have some family members that will hold similar opinions. He's he's actually going back to evolution a lot in these videos. Like you hear him say something about like 200,000 years ago, whenever people were basically just living together, and just he's saying that without any way of giving evidence to the fact that 200,000 years ago there were any people living together. It's a weird thing to do. It's a weird way to fickle emotions are your source of authority. That's right, Chris. That's right. You have no basis for saying exactly. And I felt like it really sounded like the guy that was on the other side, the believer that was addressing this issue with Rhett. It felt like that was the point he was trying to get to. Like, what is your standard? It seemed a lot like maybe something that we would hear from Saitin Brudenkay. And so I don't know if that's where he was coming from or where he was trying to get it to. But to be honest, it's painful. It's painful to watch. But 15 minutes later, he does say, yes, well, that is actually wrong. And then when asked about polyamorous marriages or, whatever, he's just basically like, well, we'd have to look at whether or not there's, it all went back to like who was in power, and you have to make sure that everybody has the same amount of control. So a little bit of like feminism going in there, which is a weird mixture. So yeah, just really, really weird, but interesting. So if you've got family members coming over that are unbelievers, or that maybe are like, professing believers that just say they know who Jesus is, so they're definitely saved, that might be something really, really helpful. The next recommendation that I have for you guys this weekend is actually a Justin Peters video, which is so cool because I put it on this link and then I saw that somebody shared it in the group, which is always fun. So we were on the same page. Justin Peters did a video talking about Santa Claus. And this is fun because a lot of times the issues that we see in regards to Christmas is people saying, that whether or not you should or shouldn't celebrate Christmas. But I feel like we need to pull it backwards a little bit and address something first, because this is going to impact more people. There's a very small minority of people in the church that believe that you shouldn't celebrate Christmas. There is a large majority of professing Christians who believe that you can teach your children about Santa Claus. And so Justin Peters in this video, which I did link to below, he gets deep into the theology of this issue. He talks about the comparisons, not just the history of Santa Claus, but the comparisons between Santa's attributes compared to God's attributes and Christ's attributes. So he gets really, really deep into the theology. But I just thought this was helpful, sort of important thing. When I got saved, when Justin and I got saved, one of the things that we realized really quickly was that we owed Kaylee an apology. And she was 4 at the time. And we owed her an apology because we had been lying to her for 4 years. We had lied to our daughter about a fictional character, and we had convinced her that he was real. Also, I convinced her that Daddy was literally Superman and that he could fly. And I made her a cloud because she wanted Daddy to get her a cloud from the sky. And so I created a cloud. And I gave it to her for her birthday. And I convinced her that it was not wet because I had sprayed stuff on it to make it not wet anymore so that it would stay and not disappear. So, yeah, I had to apologize for both of those lies and explain to Kaylee that Daddy actually wasn't literally Superman. She'd be like, Daddy, if you're Superman, then go fly for me. And I would have to tell her that, like, Daddy can't fly in front of people because if anybody sees him flying, then he loses his powers. So it was bad. But I did have to apologize to her for that. And also for the Santa Claus thing. Sally says the same thing. She said, I apologize to my daughter after watching it. There you go, Santa Claus. Yep, that's the one. And I linked to it down below. Yeah, Sally, I'm glad to see some that you felt the same way. I think it was like July or like mid-year whenever, because it was July 4th whenever I got saved. So it was like maybe a few weeks later that we were talking about what we were going to be doing for Christmas that year. And we just realized like, oh, wow, we lied to Kaylee, and lying is a sin, and we just repented of sins, and we can't keep doing the same. We can't keep doing it. Gina says, same here. After I was saved, I sat kids down and apologized and said, from now on, I want us to believe in Jesus alone. I'm so glad to hear that too, Gina, because it does actually affect your children's, we really can just stop it there, right? Like, it's lying. Lying is a sin. Don't do that. you're going to teach your kids not to lie, and then you're going to lie to them. So you're really teaching your kids that it's okay to lie sometimes, but not all the time. That's not a good thing to do. But if you want to push it forward, it's also going to make it very difficult for them after they are grown and older to look at what you're teaching them about God and about Jesus and not say, well, you told me Santa Claus was real. You told me Daddy was Superman and that he could fly. So that I thought was really helpful and fascinating. I'm glad to see somebody addressing that, because usually we don't address that. It's normally something that is just talked about with only, should we celebrate Christmas? Should we not celebrate Christmas? So there you go. So that is the final recommendation that I have. Of course, those links are in the descriptions below. Let's see here. A couple of other things. Oh, we have a prayer request, and then that's it. And I'm going to let you guys go because I am going to be recording in a couple hours. So I've got to go and get ready for that and get my sweet husband ready for Christmas. No, not Christmas. Wow. For work, not Christmas. But the last thing that we have is this prayer request from Cindy M. And she asked that we would please pray for Doris and her family. Doris has fought cancer for 3 years. She went on hospice last night. The doctors are giving her days, maybe weeks. God has given her these last 3 years of memories for her family. So if you guys could please join me in praying for Doris and her family. This is a difficult time of year to lose a family member. And if you guys are struggling with that and you'd also like prayer, if you've lost someone and you're struggling during this time, I know that can be a difficult thing for everybody. And right now I don't know if you guys saw this, but currently right now, the deaths for young, like millennials, has been higher than any other deaths. And it's not COVID deaths. These are non-related deaths, but a lot of like suicides and stuff, because I think like we're stuck at home and people are losing their jobs, they're losing their businesses, and it's been a really, really rough year. So if you are struggling and you'd like for us to pray with you guys, make sure that you drop it in the comments, or you can send it to me if you want it to be a private thing that I would be. It always fills me with joy and humbles me to go before the throne of God in prayer for you guys. I know that I say this a lot, but it amazes me that we can go before the throne of God in prayer. I know for me personally that I am not deserving or worthy, and I never will be, of even getting anywhere near that throne. I shouldn't even be as close to it as I am now here on earth, because I'm so incredibly wretched that what I deserve is hell. What God has given me is forgiveness and grace and mercy and a family and sanctification, justification, and also his word and prayer as well. Like, that just blows me away. Absolutely blows me away. So yes, if you are in need of prayer, or you want me to join with you in praying for something, feel free to reach out to me. The last thing that I have to say to you all is that I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, because this is it for live events. Monday, I will have an episode for you the Monday after Christmas, which is the 31st, New Year's Eve, I believe is when that day is. I will have another, talked to 2 suicidal people last week simply because of isolation. Wow, Gina, that has got to be really heavy on your heart to hear from people that are dealing with that just because of being in isolation. Wow, that is hard to hear. There is a cost benefit analysis, right? Cost benefit analysis that we should be weighing here with these things. So, but yes, Merry Christmas to all of you wonderful humblebees. I am so very thankful for he's like Lawrence creepy squirrels. I missed something in the comment stream here because there's something funny happening about squirrels. I'll have to go back through and read. And yeah, I hope you wonderful humblebees have a fantastic Christmas. And if you are, oh no, did I freeze? I froze. I don't know why I froze. I'm sorry. Am I back now? Yep, now I'm back. Okay, there you go. Hopefully you wonderful humblebees will have a great and very full fellowship with your family and friends for Christmas. If you have questions for Kristen, make sure that you send us in, because you just got a little bit less than 2 hours. And I love you all of you wonderful humblebees, and I will talk to you on the 1st of 2021.